We didn't have any luck where we lived in Prescott for bluebirds. Because of the grounds here, I think. They were in the neighborhood. Just decided that we'd like to try it. So we talked the shop into making 12 Peterson houses. We put them up, and then we went to a bluebird recovery program. This was probably 2008. And we learned that we had done it all wrong. We learned a lot of new things, and then we rearranged the bluebird houses and put them in what should be better spots. That first year we had nestings on the north side, I think some on the south. When we moved two houses to the hill, that was the best place on the south side. And then every year we've had at least 2 nestings twice during the summer. We've had as many as 14 bluebirds every year, I think, until last year when we fledged 22. And we had 4 nests with 5 eggs each. And then one nest toward the end of the summer only had 2 eggs in it. So we fledged 22 that way. So it was a really good year for us. We're in the city, and the bluebirds like our yard.
Are there other ways that you encourage the bluebirds to hang around?
Yes, we have mealworms. Of course, they have to have a clean house. I'm the house cleaner for the bluebirds. And they love mealworms. Not freeze-dried ones, but real mealworms. And we get them over in Highland Park. I think that's what encourages them to stay. We have very fancy feeders. They're tuna fish cans on a stick. And I feed sometimes every day. Sometimes things get in the way, so I don't get out there every day. Bluebirds pretty much eat all that we put out. I check the houses once a week or after a storm or something to make sure that they're okay. I worry when the birds get, the babies are hatched, or if the mother should be in the nest when I come by, and I knock on the house to make sure that she isn't there when I open the door. But one time the mother was, and the baby, one of the baby chicks was under her claw, and as she came out, the baby dropped to the ground, and it had no feathers. It was just newly hatched. And so I picked it up. I was scared, but I picked it up and put it back in the nest, and it lived to fly away, a big, healthy bluebird. We have tree swallows that will nest in our houses. The first year we had a bluebird house with the tree swallow in it, and I found a dead baby when I checked the nest. So, and I didn't quite know what was going on. And I discovered that there were black flies in the nest, but I didn't know what to do about it. So that's summer, some bluebird literature came out from the Bluebird Recovery Program, and I discovered that another bluebird person that had quite a trail of bluebirds had the same problem. And so he solved it because he was a trout fisherman, and he thought, how did he keep the flies from biting him when he was fishing for trout? And what he did was cover his skin with vanilla, just vanilla that you put into cookies or cake. But he rubbed it on his skin, and that kept the flies away. So he thought he would try it in the bluebird nests. So the next year he put drops in the nest on the head of each baby bird. He had success. So now I do that. If I discover there's a problem, I will use my vanilla. Keeps the birds from dying. And that was a good thing. It's just like with, well, the other unusual thing I've done, because we live in the city, we have house sparrows. And we discovered that they were coming into the nest and they would kill the babies or even the parents. That was another disturbing thing for us, because we thought maybe we shouldn't be encouraging bluebirds when we had the enemy living with us, and there's so many house sparrows in the city. But again, I went online and found another bluebirder who solved the problem by putting fish line across the top of the house, and then line that hung down with weights, one on each side, and fish line around the opening of the house. And the bluebird can go in and out and is not a bit bothered, but the house sparrow cannot see very well, but it feels the fish line, and that keeps them out. I've never been lucky enough to see the bluebirds fledge. After they've fledged, I've seen them and heard them in the trees. They never come back to the house, and they will feed. If I put out mealworms, they'll come and feed, and the parents must feed them. But they're learning a lot of things once they've left. But I do think they live in the trees around here until they get stronger and have had lessons in flight and whatever, feeding and whatever they need to keep themselves alive. Well, I just hope the people at Becketwood keep their eyes open, because you never know when you're going to. This time of year, you can see a bluebird on the fence or on a post or on a wrought iron decoration in the garden. They are in the trees. If you learn their call, you know they're there before you see them. So I just hope everybody enjoys and is alert to the fact that we have a lot of interesting birds, and bluebirds are one of them.